Chew, Randall, chew. All right, we're live. Sports Rewind Digital Podcast. Randall's got a mouthful of nuggets fresh off the Young Blokes training session there. Dave, how you going, mate?
I'm all right, mate. How's yourself?
Yeah, pretty good, mate. Pretty good, mate. Lots of sport happening this week. We've got the Matildas. We've got the Ashes just finished. Baseball trade deadline. It's all happening. Mate, how about for the Davo household? What have you guys been up to?
Mate, we actually headed down to the Nets on Sunday.
Yep.
They're all keen for the upcoming cricket season, so we all went down and rolled the arm over and don't want to face the daughter now. Like, she's had a growth spurt and getting a good bit of speed on her and bowling great line and length. It's like,
Nice.
no, that'll do me. So great weekend weather-wise, though, so it's just perfect to get out and about.
It was beautiful, mate. Beautiful indeed. Randall, you finish your nugget, mate?
Yeah, mate. Finally got through a few nuggets. I'll just keep sneaking a few later on during the show. But I've only got to put in as many away as Winnie. But anyway,
as long as no nuggets come out.
That's all right, mate. Should be sweet this week, I think. Yeah, same as, mate. Sport. It's that end of the year for our baseball season. So rep carnivals are all coming up, and both boys trying out for rep teams, and I put my hand up to coach a rep team as well. So it's interesting at the moment. We've got one child playing or attempting to play in the under 14s. I've put my hand up to help coach the under 12s, and then the youngest is actually playing under 10s. So it'll be an interesting long weekend anyway. If they all get if they both get selected, and I'm coaching, I won't actually see any of them play. But it just means there's lots of training, lots and lots of training, pretty much every day of the week at the moment. So
yeah, mate, lots and lots.
Hard to find time, as you would know, mate.
Absolutely. Big weekend of dance and cheer for the Huttos, mate. The girls had DCE state championships this weekend. They got a second in hip hop, jazz, and cheer, and they got first in lyrical. So massive weekend of dance and cheer. It was good to actually have the weekend off and get down there and see it and cheer them on. So
nice.
Hey, they got this is the busiest part of their year, so they got nationals and things coming up. So anyway, our guest tonight, fellas, we're gonna get Matty on in a second. Before that, I guess a rundown of what to expect for the show tonight. So we've got our guest, we've got NRL, MLB trades, and whatever else is going on in that. We've even got a Newcastle baseball trade, I think, popped up in some of the show notes there. What else have we got? Cricket, Matildas. But let's pull up our guest, fellas. Now, Matty's a friend of mine, triathlete turned cycle class guru. He then owned a CrossFit gym, and he's gone full circle and back on the bike. So let's get him on, and we'll hear a little bit about his story. Matty.
Gents. Hey, mate.
How are you, mate?
Yeah, doing very well. Mate, nice to see you. And hello, boys.
Good to see you too, mate. We actually left you some chicken nuggets back there in the green room, but I think Randall got them all.
Mate, there was duck eggs of chicken nuggets, mate. So yeah, BJ, you owe me some nuggets. You can express them up anytime, mate.
Hey, you're up up north again, mate, at Coffs Harbour now.
Absolutely, yes. Living the wonderful life on the mid-north coast in Coffs Harbour, having recently made the relocation from a busy northwest region of Sydney, mate. So yeah, huge contrast between the old Hills district and Coffs Harbour. However, a wonderful place to be seated at the moment, mate. That's for sure.
Absolutely, mate. Did you grow up there, Matty?
I did. Born and bred Coffs boy. Actually, grew up, no word of a lie, probably about 600 meters up over the hill and around 2 or 3 streets. So I'm in my old hood, so to speak. But yeah, some some 20 years since leaving Coffs Harbour. It's really nice to be back, and I guess back, as you said, full circle, not just professionally, but I guess personally in terms of where we live. So yeah, mate, it's lovely up here.
Absolutely. These boys made on the screen here. I think they might have had a few nights at the Hoey Moey Hotel, or maybe a couple.
Mate, I'd be disappointed if they hadn't had a couple of nights at the Hoey Moey, to be honest. So
yeah, a couple of baseball championships up Coffs Harbour way back in the day, and yeah, there's been a few beers had there, that's for sure.
Just a
Well,
couple.
we'll be there for the October long weekend actually for baseball carnival. So, and it
There
just
you
so
go.
happens that my 40th is actually that same weekend. So, you never know where I'll end up.
a double maybe a double celebration, or at least one prolonged celebration for you, mate.
That's it. That's it.
At least it doesn't take you that long to get up there now, like it used to.
Yeah.
Mate, the transit between look, truth has it that I have still a fair amount of work through Sydney, and obviously in the regions around the state. So yeah, I do appreciate the much faster roads. It's only half. It sounds odd when you say anywhere. Look, it's a 5-hour drive for me from here to sort of hit Sydney again, and people look at you like you've got two heads when you say it's only 5 hours away. But it's not an uncomfortable drive by any stretch. At least I get to spend a lot of time listening to music, which, funnily enough, probably forms more importance in my life than I care to appreciate.
Absolutely. Let's touch on, I guess, start at the beginning, mate. What did you grew up in Coffs Harbour? What sort of sports and things did you play growing up?
Mate, look, great question, and thank you for asking that. Look, as a young fella in this area here, I was able to sort of dip my toe in cricket through the summer. Mum was gracious enough to be a cricket mum for me down at, I think it was Sawtell. Or was it Tormentor Cricket or Sawtell Cricket? I think it was Sawtell Cricket Club. My apologies to Sawtell Cricket Club if, in fact, I did play for you guys. That was my summer sport that Mum had to endure, and my winter sport was soccer. I can recall playing it. It left that much of an impression on me, I guess, during those developmental years. Not to say that I didn't enjoy it. Certainly loved the social aspect of it. Which I guess explains a lot later on. But look, I had a very early exposure to cycling, believe it or not, from who was one of my mum's best friends, and I guess in the social circle of the adults that I was sort of brought up around. So. I guess a very early exposure to riding bikes at some sort of competitive level with a push. From a gentle push from an adult, I guess, really, I suppose, anchored the tail end of my early sports anyway. And then from there, yeah, a little bit of water polo and swimming through high school. Stayed away from the impact stuff. I hated getting hit in the head. So I think I did rugby league for like a season in high school because my mates did. And getting walloped all the time wasn't for me. So I thought, forget that. Let's stay towards more of the, either the individual sports or the stuff that I could ride machines and do things with. So yeah, that's my story, mate. Yeah,
for sure. Mate, I know you got into a bit of triathlon from there. When did that sort of start?
Yeah, so I guess my journey into multisport was was accidental. I had a relatively difficult injury to overcome in my early 20s. Had an accident with a leg issue resulting from that accident. A couple of years of a year and a bit of casts, working on crutches, not being able to do too much, sort of led to me exploring some other options. So dialing back into, I guess, the non-impact side led to a bit more road cycling. Happened to form a very good friendship with the boys and girls over at Cycle World in Burwood. Shout out to Dave over there. I don't even know if they're still around, but hey, kudos to you guys. And they just said one day that I was in buying, more gear, as tends to happen in that sport. You're always buying something new. And he said, look, there's a group that are looking to form a triathlon club. You should come down. They're having a barbecue on this Sunday. And so I, being me, thought, yeah, cool. I get to meet a few new people. Let's see what this triathlon thing's about. Rolled up, and next minute I've got a bunch of friends that have formed this brand new triathlon club. And shout out to Balance UTS Triathlon Club in Sydney, as they're now known. It was Balance Tri Club back in those days. And it's my first triathlon was actually the Yeppoon Capricorn Half Ironman. So prior to that race, I had never done a swim bike run in my life. And Yeppoon Ironman, which was the Capricorn Half, was my first multi-sport event, and I had an absolute great time the night before the race. I think there was cyclonic conditions up there, and they were worried that they had to walk us down a good 2K down because they were concerned for the currents were going to just ship us a long way away. So, yeah, it was a wild race, but it lit a flame and sparked a fire that was very hard to extinguish for a long period of time, and reignited, I guess, in what I'm doing now professionally. Yeah,
Love it, mate. I know these blokes are on the other side of the screen there. They're right into triathlon.
they're keen as.
Like,
It's good to watch.
Yeah, it is.
Is that like
well,
beer,
I did
spirits, water?
biathlons.
That's right.
Mate,
do
look, there is no
biathlon,
more
so-
special. There is no more special person at a triathlon event than the spectators and the support teams, who are, they're absolutely interchangeable. Let's face it, every spectator generally on the sidelines of any of those multi-sports is usually supporting mum, dad, or or son or daughter or friend, or just complete stranger. So yeah, mate, never downplay the support roles in those events.
We should probably go up and commentate Ironman next year, actually, because what is it? 17 hours, the longest cutoff time is. So how many runs do you reckon Davo could get in 17 hours and commentate on the Ironman? I reckon we should go next year.
It'd still be fresh.
Yeah.
Sounds like a challenge to me.
I don't know about you, Matty, but I remember some of the days at Foster, and some of the blokes that cheered you on down there at the caravan park there at Foster, being on the cans all day. That was always good value.
Mate, the noise of that can opening when you were really desperate for a drink, or at least getting somewhere closer to the end of the race, that cheers, always appreciated at those times.
Absolutely. Hey, you early days of triathlon, and then you where I sort of first met you when you had your first sort of venture with indoor cycling. Hey, what was that called? Was that Ride?
Yes, yeah. Okay, so, mate, we're delving right back through everything, aren't we? So,
Absolutely.
Hutto, if I remember correctly, mate, we became Facebook friends back when Facebook was like this new thing. It was you tagged where you're at, or you checked in, I think it was, and I think through our CrossFit Level 1 coaching seminar, or through, I guess, just the extension of that CrossFit Level 1 seminar, we became connected through Facey, and I guess from there, I think it was moving into that Filex event. You had the Men's Health Tough Bloke Challenge, wasn't it?
Yeah,
was it the Tough Bloke?
Yeah,
The Tough Guy Challenge. And yeah, mate, I was an exhibitor at the Australian Fitness Expo with the first iteration, or I guess the earliest iteration of my indoor cycle program, or the indoor cycle program called Ride. So yeah, mate, we had you. That was when we first met. I was standing on that corner in that booth with the awesome crew back in that day, I guess. And yeah, so yeah, that was when we first caught up, mate.
love it. He sort of gone full cycle, I guess. From there, he stretched out the business to the CrossFit side. Sorry, Davo, you go.
No, I'm just saying that. Nice joke, mate. You've gone full cycle.
Yeah.
Sorry. Throwing in the puns.
Yeah. Well, I guess, look, my professional journey, or my journey in the fitness industry, and was tied into a little bit of physical recovery and I guess the positive sides of that. But, to be completely honest with you, we ended up in this, I ended up in this indoor cycle position. I was participating in these fitness classes that were riding a bike to music, and it really crossed over my two enjoyments in those years of being a little bit younger and probably a little bit more reckless. I spent plenty of time in warehouses and rooms with plenty of loud music, lots of lights, and some amazing people, and had great times. And all of a sudden, I bumped into this studio that had this environment that was completely foreign to me, in terms of health and fitness and whatnot. So yeah, this opportunity to be able to take a little bit of, I guess, that sport experience, and that sport application really started to connect the dots for me. So while I was teaching classes in club and having the opportunity to create fitness and training opportunities for general population, everyone that's, male and female, 18 to 80 years old, being able to, I guess, have that little bit of sport experience as well, and that training fun, and the connection to the training through triathlon as well, looking to be able to connect the dots between the two. So, really, was there a way that I could take the fun of group training, fun of exercise, and music and all those things, and maybe connect them to a little bit of the real training aspect as well. So yeah, that's sort of where we landed now. In terms of the CrossFit stuff, Hutto, yeah, you're absolutely right. A hard pivot. Not long after, I think we bumped into each other there. So yeah, obviously wanting to expand my own repertoire meant an exploration outside of the box, and CrossFit presented itself. A decade as a CrossFit owner, alongside yourself with your old affiliate in Sydney, well, yours in Newcastle, of course. I'm saying in Newcastle, and ours in Sydney. So yeah, being able to now look to try and connect the dots between, I guess, some of that world and some of the other world, we land where we do today.
Yeah. These two blokes and I guess through COVID sort of started talking a lot more, and I guess this is sort of how it began. We talked, to each other all the time about baseball and sport, and sort of this is how this podcast sort of began. I guess with COVID and owning a gym, you would have had a lot of like online classes and things like that. Was that tough?
Yeah. COVID was a challenging learning experience for everybody, and very much so for the gym owner. I guess to maybe, I guess not remind everybody, but that announcement that happened to all of us, to the entire country, that as of lunchtime tomorrow, these businesses are going to close, and that was a really confronting evening, if I can reflect on that moment. However, one of the luxuries that I can embellish a little bit is having had a little bit of history in video presenting, as well as a connection to a little bit of technology through one of my hobbies, and obviously, and one of my best friends as well. So while it presented itself as a challenge in terms of how to continue to go, the opportunity to do a digital pivot, was absolutely, what's the word?
Instrumental.
It was just instant. Yeah, it was instrumental to the change. I mean, it was what we did. We were active by 6 o'clock the following night with a live stream, and that was the beginning of CrossFit Eora Live, which was an online gym during that time, as we all were doing classes. 6 o'clock in the morning, and 9 and 12 and 5, 6 and 7, and then yeah, obviously exploring that online world a little bit further as we went.
Yeah, mate. It would have been. We sort of got out just before COVID, so we didn't get to experience that, but we got to experience it with other gyms.
Yeah.
I guess the gym that Andrew was going to had an online class, and it was tough. I mean, not only, I guess, you had to usually you just program a class and you'd have a coach turn up, or you'd turn up and run through the class, but you had to get there and set everything up and pull everything down and do all the bits and pieces. So I guess it would have been really rough, mate. But it's sort of, I guess from there, that's where your new business started, right? You've got out of the CrossFit gym now, and you're on a state of ride. So tell us a little bit about that and what that is.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I guess just on the back end of the whole COVID conversation. So let's frame the story, because it's a fun one to tell. So COVID happens. We get told we got to lock the gym down. I'm a CrossFit gym owner. Still want to continue that business for that month after it happened. It was just the normal routine. Morning, noon, night. Do what you do. Very limited bubble. If I remember correctly, we had to have certificates to be able to get around places if it was for your profession. And it was a bit of a challenge. About a couple of weeks into lockdown, my best mate Jay said to me, "Mate, you're not really yourself. You're not very happy." And I shocked at the question, shocked at the statement. You're not very happy. Shit's hard. You've lost a fair amount of business, and you don't know where life's going to be. What makes you happy? And truth has it, mate, at the end of each night at my CrossFit gym, I would set myself up an opportunity to do some training. Now, as I said, I've always been a music guy. I was in group, doing the group X stuff and the group fitness stuff in studios prior. Music formed the base of my day. With the CrossFit gym, mate, we had a dope stereo there. I know they said we weren't DJs in there, but I tell you what, we had a good stereo. There could have been. So, the musical experience that used to happen in my gym was one that used to be talked about quite highly, and it got us a good reputation in the region to be able to draw a particular client through. So having such a good stereo and some LED lights and some other sort of funky shit in the gym, once my nighttime nighttime Zoom classes would finish, mate, I'd go and crack a Corona and I'd drink a beer, and I'd set myself up in front of the television and put YouTube on or Spotify or whatever the hell I wanted to watch, and I'd just blast tunes over the stereo as loud as I possibly could. And mate, I would have a workout that would be, however long I needed it to be. And irrespective of my mood at the beginning, by the end, I just always felt awesome. It ticked the box for me. I got a bit of training. I got an endorphin rush. I had some sort of visual stimulus as well. And mate, I wrapped up my day in a different mindset, and I guess, with a different energy after it was done. So yeah, Jo says to me, mate, you're not happy. And I said, well, I'm not really. He says, well, what makes you happy? What are you doing to make yourself happy? And I thought, far out, that's a fair question, mate. So I honestly said, well, what am I doing for myself, beyond the normal shit you could do at that time, which is very little. I said, look, I'll be honest, at the end of my night here, I said, I do this workout on a bike to music after I drink a beer, and it's fucking amazing. It's fucking amazing. And he was like, righto, well, do you want to do more of that? And I was like, yeah, I guess so. And he's like, well, what is it? And I said, well, I create a workout on a bike, and I've put some visuals behind it so that it sort of tells a bit of a story, and it's a bit of a visual party as well as an auditory party. And then I play it really loud, and I sweat my ass off riding at different speeds doing some stuff. And he's like, right, do you reckon you want to do something more? And I was like, yeah, what? And he says, I don't know, got any ideas? And I said, well, I know indoor cycling's still popular as a thing as far as fitness is concerned. And obviously with lockdown, gyms closed, we knew that there was going to be people that either were going to buy bikes, because the amount of phone calls we were getting for equipment was out of control. So me and my sort of grandest ideas thought to myself, well, shit, if we're all locked down and can't go anywhere, gyms are closed and people are buying exercise equipment, how about I do a live class on an exercise bike online and see if people are going to join? And next minute he says, well, yeah, okay, let's go. Had no idea where we were going to start, how we were going to do it. We had a little bit of history in live streaming due to our drone racing community and the stuff that we do with that, which is a whole nother conversation. And he says, all right, let's figure it out. So yeah, a little bit of social media we put up to say, hey, we're going to be on Twitch Friday night, 7:30. Why 7:30 Friday night? It was the only time both of us, well, it was a tail end of the week, obviously, with nothing else needed to be done. And it was an awkward time that we could probably get the most exposure across the world. So yeah, with 7 days advertising, we promoted a state of ride. which was to be an indoor cycle workout experience like no other. And started April 24, 2020, and we live streamed every Friday, except for about 3 until about 3 months ago when we were moving up here. So yeah, that's the origin story, I guess, of a State of Ride. And yeah, we've had a few iterations from there, a couple of studios, a couple of moves, and yeah, now our biggest step yet.
Mate, I remember jumping on a Friday night. It must have been when you first started. I reckon you're probably only 3 or 4 weeks into it. I didn't even know what Twitch was. I had no idea what Twitch was, and then yeah, jumped on, and away we went. I just want to say hello to Jason too. Jason's tuning in. Thanks for tuning in, mate.
Here's the man, DJ Jo. Absolute look. Everything that you see in terms of a State of Ride and potentially a lot of the things you hear are Jo's fault. He was the absolute enabler at the beginning of the process of all this. And I guess testament to the question, the question is, first question being to your mate, how are you? And I guess the second one of result, the second one being, what can I do to help, or what makes you happy, and what can I do to help get you towards a little bit more happy can lead to some pretty cool things. So yeah, mate, funny you say that about not knowing about Twitch. My grandparents, bless them, in their late 80s, if I've got it wrong, they're going to be so upset with me because they watch YouTube, because they've become absolute online stream fans now. So I get messages, you on Twitch tonight, you on YouTube, where are you? So it really shows that you can reach anybody in the online medium. If my grandparents at their age can do some online stuff, then buddy, anyone can do it. So kudos to you for getting in there too, mate.
Love it, mate. Love it. Hey, how often do you guys run it now?
So
not on anymore because of the move, or are you back on? What's happened,
mate? Look, it's a great question. It's a fair question. There's probably going to be a few of our State of Ride crew that'll be in this, or a few of the crew in the chat that might ask some questions. But in terms of the live, I guess a State of Ride started with the intent to connect people to training. That was its first objective. In a very short period of time from that initial launch of the concept, it turned into a support tool for instructors and clubs at that time. They saw that there was something happening that was gaining traction and gaining some attention, that might be able to draw, a new client or draw some clients back into the gym, as the world started to open up. So, in terms of a State of Ride live, we hit pause on that, if that's the best way to say it, as we made the move up here. So, moving a studio's hard, moving a home's hard, and inside that home was the studio. So, focus first was to make the move and get settled, in terms of getting everything working correctly. And then obviously, you can see in the background here is sort of the mid build of what will be the next State of Ride live studio. So the lives are coming back, and our other events around those live streams will be there. But we certainly have a greater focus, and I guess a very energetic focus on the in-club experience at the moment, as we move into the education space. So, the lives are very much still there, but they just form to support really what we're trying to achieve at the end.
For sure. Hey, I know BJ's keen on getting on a bike and maybe giving one of your classes a shot. So when you get up and running, I think I'm going to lend BJ one of my bikes and set him up on the trainer, and we'll get him into it, I reckon.
Does it come with a bucket?
We can fit one for you if you like, mate. 100%. So
I'll need one.
And a motor.
Mate, I'm down for that. I reckon we could probably do a live stream. We could do a live cross mid-show. So we'll leave Hutto and Davo to have a chat, and you, BJ, you and I, and we'll just check in every couple of tracks, see how he's going.
Need some plenty of powder for the old chafe too. So
butt butter, mate. Butt butter.
Butt butter, yes.
Butt butter. It garners a lot of raised eyebrows when you say it at a training session. But Hutto, you would know there is nothing better than a bit of butt butter on the old bits.
Mate, I'm looking here because I'm sure I've got it here. Mate,
Mine's upstairs, so thankfully
no.
I'm going to be saved from the embarrassment.
I'm looking for a sticker in this top drawer here, mate. When they sponsored by a bit of Gooch Goo.
Oh,
So they did a bit of anti-chafe cream for the little bits and pieces. So yeah, big shout out to Gooch Goo. How good's that name? But, oh, I love it. So you're going back into the education side or transferring across to the education side, mate. AstateofRide.com is where it's all at. Tell us what's the focus there, mate? You're trying to get studios to, I guess, take on board your classes and things like that. What's it all about?
Sorry, Hutto.
You good?
Yeah, sorry, mate. I didn't realise I cut you off there.
Yeah. So what's your education side? Who's it for?
Yeah, so I guess the progressive goal very early on was to move towards a support space and an education space. Well, I guess a support space for the industry, for what part of the industry I fell in love with back in those days. Full transparency, and I'm 43 years old. I've been in the fitness industry since I was 22-ish, 23, I think, was when my journey started. Might have been a little bit earlier, can't remember. Professionally, that is. So I guess where A State of Ride has moved towards as a result of the live stream, its success, the continued support from patrons, and I mean participants each week, the instructors that were engaging, and the level of club engagement we had, we realized that we'd hit on something pretty special. It was ticking a box across multiple levels. So we invested, and I say we, Jay, myself, and the team behind the scenes, we invested a whole heap of time in formulating, I guess, the reasons why this works and this should be brought into clubs to get people fitter, and to create a nice enjoyment around group exercise, and particularly group cycling. As in terms of the education, it was to obviously support group fitness instructors for their continued development in the space. One of the things that's really important as a trainer is that they continue to skill and upskill over time. Myself having to do it in my early years, certainly, but and then continued through. So for us as A State of Ride, and for me to be able to bring a decade of CrossFit into the indoor cycle training space while not losing a musical essence is, I think, unbeatable in studios, and in terms of trying to reach a new participant or a new gym member. Looking, I guess, a little bit broader. Technology is a little bit more rife now. The access to technology, be it wearables, smart tech on bikes, Wind Trainers, Zwift, online sessions, all that. So COVID opened up a new market of participants. So A State of Ride, through its education, is sort of able to connect a little bit of the tech smarts that are around in the triathlon and cycling specific space. Certainly the tech smarts that are around the performance space in terms of CrossFit, fitness measurement, all that type of stuff. Yeah. And then being able to blend it with music, music with achievable workouts for everybody, and progressively scalable workouts as well for people, irrespective of their ability and their fitness experience. A State of Ride was always designed to be an anchor for my own performance training. The profile itself, Hutto, if I can remember our chat about it, it was built around getting me fitter for Ironman. So the actual workout profile inside Ride as a training program was to be valuable for me. I think at the time I was doing 30 anywhere between 36 and 42 classes a week as a fitness instructor. So I didn't have much time to be out on the road. I had maybe a Saturday afternoon or a Sunday. So, 30 cycle classes a week. I just figured, well, if I did 30 hours of good performance training on a bike, then maybe I'd potentially be a good triathlete. So yeah, now we've been able to build that into an education program, and hopefully be able to support more instructors into the future, just like this type of program has in the past. So yeah, super excited.
Absolutely, mate. I love this this bit here. Music driven, tech infused, power based, any bike. Pretty much sums it up, doesn't it?
Yep, absolutely. And I guess that's the joys of time and knowledge, right? So it's been a wonderful experience from the very beginning. A whole heap of fun. It drew myself into the space. I love riding bikes, hands down. I enjoy music, and having had a long enjoyable career in fitness, and I guess a very varied career, being able to bring all of those loves into one space and potentially offer a cool opportunity for people to get fit while having fun alongside other people, or potentially on their own online on the other side of the world. I think is a pretty cool thing. Look, if nothing else, mate, JO's not going to let me stop because we got this far, and there's we've been so lucky to have a whole crew also come through and play at various levels. So yeah, we're going to continue jumping on the bike and getting it done for people, for sure.
Love it, mate. When you back and running up with those live streams, we're going to get BJ on a bike, and Dave and I probably just have a few beers, and Dave will have a rum, and we'll commentate. Hey,
I'll be hydrated.
Yeah, he's on the dirty waters now. Look at him.
Awesome.
Hey, when you had the CrossFit gym, did you have a pukey bucket by any chance? Designated pukey bucket?
I don't know. I don't know if we had a designated pukey bucket, because the garage door was always open, unless of course it wasn't. So I think we just had the rule: if you threw up in the chalk bucket, you were in all sorts of trouble, because there was, that stuff was just gold, white gold in there. So yeah, I don't know if we had a pukey bucket, mate, but we definitely had a rule of don't throw up in the chalk bucket.
We had a pukey bucket, and we sort of wrote down the name and the date of when it happened each time. And this bucket went back quite a few years, and Ryan Taylor, name was first, old Teddy Taylor. But the bloke next to you down the bottom there, BJ, I reckon he would pretty much close second, I reckon.
My name was on there a lot.
Greened up the garden quite a few times, that's for sure. Mate, Jay is letting you know, mate, he wants more light, so
mate,
we'll get on to that.
Too good. Thanks,
all right,
J.O.
mate.
Yep.
Where can everybody follow along? Obviously, estateofride.com down the bottom here.
Absolutely.
Where else can we find you?
Mate, estateofride.com for all things official, I guess. That is the home base of everything that goes on for us. So whether you're a rider, a group fitness instructor, or a club, you can connect to us at estateofride.com. Social media-wise, we are on Instagram, Facebook. We are on YouTube. We are on Twitch. We are on... No, I think that's it for us, but just at A State of Ride. We've made it really easy. So... we live stream through our open live streams, I should say, through Mixcloud, our public live streams when they're on. So we do have a channel there with a whole bunch of on-demand replay resources, I guess. Basically, a whole bunch of our live classes are on there. So yeah, Mixcloud to grab that. A State of Ride on all channels, mate. So would love to connect to anybody interested in, as you said, music-driven, power-based, tech-infused, any bike type training, mate.
Love it. Thanks for joining us, Matty.
Awesome. Thanks for having me.
Take it
Thanks,
easy,
Matty.
mate. Catch you later.
Ciao.
All right, fellas. Matty, known him for quite a few years, and good to have a chat. we're going to kick it off with our tidbits straight into it. Got a fair bit to get through tonight. I can't see us getting under an hour again tonight. Not a chance. Not a chance. We always set a goal of an hour, but I set a goal of an hour.
It's too much to talk about, mate.
There is. I think I've got like 30 something slides for tonight. So we'll get through the tidbits and then we'll jump straight into them. But I think BJ, we are going to get you on a bike, mate. Once he gets those live streams happening, and we'll phone a friend.
Challenge accepted.
Love it. All right. Just adding in the tidbits here now. Davo, you're up first, mate. It's been a big week of sport.
It has. First one for us, old Maxi Scherzer will become the first athlete in sports history to be paid at least $15 million by 3 different teams in a single year. So the Nationals owe him $15 million, the Mets owe him $28 million, and the Rangers are at least $15 million. So not a bad payday for old Maxi Scherzer there.
Massive payday. I don't know the full details on all the Washington and stuff like that, but that's incredible, isn't it? It's insane.
It's not a bad annual salary. Nothing like the Saudi footballers, soccer players are making, but still, you wouldn't argue with it.
It's not like our electrician mate down the bottom there. You know, he's going all right, I reckon. But anyway, number 2, Davo.
Mate, this was interesting when I came across this. Prince Fielder, like the lean, mean running machine he is, has hit more inside the park home runs in his career than Ricky Henderson. So I had to do a double take on that and check on it. And sure enough, Ricky only had 1 career inside the park home run, and Prince Fielder had 2. So
that's
Thanks to our friends at baseballreference.com there. Not sponsored, but the only place to find that sort of information.
But I think it must have been that Ricky played in more traditional sort of parks that wouldn't have had the carums and the sort of nooks and crannies. Mind you, Fenway was still there, but most were just a standard sort of normal field. But yeah, it's crazy.
It is crazy. I think Prince Fielder's popping up in a slide later on too. There was a bit of a running race apparently.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we'll pop that up later. Tidbit number 3, a fun fact. Davo sent me this one. If you went 2 for 5 with a homer and single every day, you would finish your season with 162 home runs, 810 total bases, 324 hits, and still end up with a lower OPS than Barry Bonds in 2004.
That's just ridiculous.
Yeah. The man was just insane. Insane. I love that one. As soon as I seen it, I grabbed that one off Davo. Thought I'm taking that.
Didn't look like he would have had too much trouble finding a vein either.
No, look at that. He's a pretty vascular sort of dude, isn't he?
Yeah.
You'd take the 162 home runs in the year, wouldn't you?
You would. You absolutely would.
You can have your OPS, Barry. I'll take the 162 home runs.
Yeah, that's it. That's it. Hey, the next one I've got on Randy Johnson. Bit of a piss take here. Randy, we're going to trade you for Mark Langston, and then you're going to win 300 games, 5 Cy Young Awards, and throw a ball through a bird. The Montreal Expos. Hey,
it's one of those trades that sort of didn't work out well for one team.
We're talking about some shitty trades earlier today, and looking back through bits and pieces, we got plenty of trades in the pipeline to talk about tonight too, fellas. 1 day left on the trade deadline too, so there's going to be some moves tomorrow, I reckon.
I'd say we're going to wake up to a lot of news.
I would say so.
Yep.
Randall, tidbit number 5 is you, mate. What do we got?
Awesome. Oh, the Ashes have just finished up. We know we had a drawn series. Beautiful. We're having a look back at the last time James Anderson won an Ashes Test series. Federer had 17 majors. Nadal had 14 majors. Djokovic had never won the French Open. South Africa had not lost a test since the test series away from home for 8+ years. Nathan Lyon only had 158 test wickets. Kohli had 0 test wins as captain. And Brendan McCullum was the New Zealand captain in all 3 formats. Poor old Jimmy Anderson. He might as well get on. He might as well get on board with Brody and just hang the boots up.
See ya.
Well, they
Go out
tried
a
to give him
loser.
a send off. It's like when they gave Broad the guard of honour. I love Steve Smith and Marsh. It's like, well, come on, Jimmy, come on, you should be next. You're older than him.
Yep. I
But
did have
no,
another one that had a list of players that have all retired already that debuted after Jimmy Anderson. So I'll save that one for next week.
You beauty.
This one, come across this one today, actually. New York Mets, Pete Alonso and Jughead Vogelbach have set a new MLB modern era record for the fattest back-to-back home run duo. Combined 575 pounds. Love it.
JBD, if you listen, mate, congratulations. Good on you. What an achievement.
I think he actually sent me that on Insta.
Yeah, he said it to me too.
Okay.
Yeah, fantastic.
I love
Fantastic.
it.
That
Hey,
rounds out of tidbits.
Doesn't matter your size. You hit it over the fence, you jog around.
That's it.
100% right, mate.
That's it. Yeah, if
Well,
it's gone, it's gone.
hit it out of the infield and just walk to first. Oh no, Ebony, don't do that.
Explain. I wasn't there.
Oh, just lazy little 9-3.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
In the sixth inning when they're up 9-2.
Wow.
Out of the left side of the box too. Crushed the ball to right field. And still got thrown out by half the length.
Damn.
Mm.
Oh, well. That's what happens when you hit it that hard, Randall. You wouldn't know.
Nope.
You wouldn't know.
Don't hit it out of the infield, mate.
Nope, that's it. All right, that rounds out our tidbits. No sponsor for the tidbits this week. I'm going to run through some slides that we've got as talking points, and we'll go from there and see what we got left. Or did you want to run the NRL first? No.
Go slides, mate. Go to slides.
Last week I was telling you about the under-10s player that was dealing. He was throwing hard. I just want to, show you the comment. What he's really looking forward to when he goes away. Looking forward to playing for the Australian region and getting to pitch against good batters. I love it. So he's been thrown against all this crap over here in Australia. He's going to dominate those good batters over there. I had a good laugh at this because the young fella here absolutely dominated the 10 years up there on the Gold Coast, and good on him and good luck to those kids playing over there at the Babe Ruth Classic and the what's the other tournaments happening over there at the moment?
Cal Ripken.
Yeah, Cal Ripken.
Yep.
So good luck, old son. But yes.
Absolutely dealt.
Yes, he did. Hey, we're talking today, Davo, about this one. Our kids would have loved this. Date the Giants, the walk-up songs. This was Brandon Crawford's Taylor Swift-a-thon. Have a look at the songs here. For those that are audio only, I'm sorry, but I'm not going to read through all of these. It's basically got a player with each has their own Taylor Swift song. So, mate, I'm glad I wasn't at the ballpark for that day.
Oh,
I would have had to leave.
Yeah, would have had to put the
would be
earplugs
bleeding.
in. And would have been like Randall at the cricket, got the earpiece in, listening to whatever he's listening to, Kerry O'Keefe or whoever might have been telling the story.
Yeah.
Hey, does he still commentate the cricket? Skull?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, he's doing something like he was for Triple M, and I think I'm not sure if he's still ABC Radio, but he's still Foxtel as well. So
yeah, no, it was always good listening to him. Always had a good giggle, and
he'd laugh at his joke before he'd even tell it.
Yeah.
I love it.
He's still on the back page every so often,
Yeah.
so
Okay.
that's still worth watching on Fox.
Yeah. Mate, I don't know what Ninja's talking about here. Big boys getting it done.
So he's talking about the big boppers. He's talking about
Ah,
him and Davo back to back, I think.
fair enough. Back to back what?
Ground outs.
Strikeouts.
No, it wasn't strikeouts.
Ah, fair
He
enough.
can't be talking about the Cardinals because they're trading away most of their players.
They are indeed.
Fire sale.
Not like the Giants, mate. We traded for AJ Pollock, who's batting 173. What a good trade that is.
At least you traded for someone.
I reckon the Toronto Tigers had a better trade than that this week, actually. I'm just trying to find it, Randall. But I know I don't actually know what the Giants got for AJ Pollock, but at least the Toronto Tigers got a new garbage bin.
Perfect.
Randall got traded to Lake Macquarie City Council, and we got a new green bin. So it's fantastic. It was great to see.
We needed the bin.
Good luck with the council, and I guess, yeah, we'll see you out there at some stage on the
Sorry,
ballpark,
mate.
mate.
I'll come and empty the bin for you.
Thanks, mate. Appreciate it. I've lost where I was up to in the slides now. I sort of interrupted, but anyway, here we go. What about this one? What do you make of this? I know they talk about Trout being as one of the best ever. Pujols. He was pretty good. What did he end up with? How many home runs did he end up with? 706 or something?
Something like that.
706 or 708 or whatever it might have been. Nin should be able to tell us, Cardinals man. But, through 1,282 games, Pujols 334 average to Trout's 306, 333 home runs to 310, RBIs 1,015 to 816. Maybe that's because he had runners on that he was able to knock in. 985 runs to 965, OPS 1.051 to 1.004. What do you guys make of that?
Be interested to see the comparison as to time taken, because with Trout out injured so much, how many more years did it take him to play the 1,282 games? Like Albert was pretty consistent those first few years.
Yeah, that would be interesting.
Albert's still one of the greatest right-handed hitters ever, though. Mix of power and average.
Yeah, great swing too. I loved his swing.
Yeah,
great play all around. But just seen that one and thought it'd be interesting to see. I guess what you guys thought of that. Another interesting one I've seen today, Randall, I think it might have been the Baltimore Orioles page, was this one. I guess the Orioles at the start of the season, opening day, they were 10% odds to make postseason. Today they're at 84%. The Yankees, hello to all our Yankee fans out there, opening day 81% at 35% today. Don't know. 35%, I reckon that's
high.
pretty good. Yeah, it's pretty high.
That is high.
I'm reckon more down to this 10% where the Orioles.
Yeah,
they're still in last place in the East.
That's the standard, mate. That's the way that all media treat the Yankees. They're always overhyped. They're always, they're going to do this, they're going to do that. They always talk them up. They're always still in the power rankings. They're always still here. They're always still there, even when they're doing absolutely nothing.
Yeah. Hey, they're 10 games behind your Baltimore Orioles right now. So, mate,
long way to go still. Long way to go, but.
Long way to go.
Yeah.
While we're still on the Yankees, what about this one? With tonight's loss, the Yankees finished 10-15 in July. They have struck out 30 times over their last 2 games and are currently in last place in the ALL East. Your beauty.
And then today's game, Jermaine was supposed to start, but they told no, he's scratched due to an injury. And then he comes out of the bullpen and throws the last 3 or 4 innings.
Yeah.
So a lot of them are now scratching their heads like, what's going on with the Yankees?
Yeah, mate, and for their payroll as well. So
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm
260 million or whatever it is.
Yeah,
270 million or something.
it's pretty
They're not
crazy.
getting much.
It's only a lazy 200 million above what the Orioles payroll is.
Yeah.
One's in
They're
first place, one's in last.
Yeah.
Big Ninjas chimed in with a 703 home runs. I'm going to. I was thinking, mate, I'm sure it was 706, but you know what? Mate, never, ever go against the Ninja. Have a look here. 703 home runs. You beauty. Thanks for your input, mate.
I'm sure he Googled it.
Hey,
I'm sure he Googled it.
he might have, but that's okay. He's making an input. One of you blokes sent me this one. I think it's pretty impressive. Talking about Tim Anderson the other week.
Yeah.
Hit his first home run. Tim Anderson and Shoei combined for 40 home runs this season.
Yeah, it just gave us a laugh when I saw it. So I thought that's too good not to share. Because as we said, we have mentioned about Anderson and his lack of power.
Yeah, quality. And we're talking just before about the young fellas over there playing in the Little League World Series and the Cal Ripken and the Babe Ruth and all the things. How about this one?
Yeah, brutal, isn't it?
43-1. I wake up to that and I'm going, oh, that's Australia. And I'm going, oh, thank God it's New Zealand. Thank God.
Imagine the pitches they would have burnt.
Yeah. Yeah.
That hurts your whole tournament, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It does. It does indeed. And I'm sure the Yanks probably didn't play one of their better sides for that game either. And, still come away with a 43-1 victory.
12U, that's pretty brutal.
It is pretty brutal.
Like, surely there's, after 3 or 4 innings, like a 15-run mercy rule or something like that's.
They probably didn't get through 3 innings. Like, how many pitching changes and things?
You think there'd be a retirement?
Yeah, surely they can declare their inning or something. Like, what's the point? What's the point of doing that to kids?
Arrogance of the Yanks, I suppose.
Like, I know they're there and they're representing their country, but 43-1, that's for 12U. Wow. Yeah. Even 20-1, is still a very convincing score. But wow, do they really want the for and against that bad?
Yeah.
Mate, I'm going to let Davo read this next one as a Red Sox fan. He's no longer a Red Sox, though, is he?
Our old mate who's going to move to first base or DH soon. Most errors at third base since the start of 2018 season. So in third place is Jose Ramirez with 62. Second place, Suarez 65. And only just in front of them is Rafael Devers with 108. So the guy can rake, he just can't field.
Yeah. Good DH.
I don't know how many he had last year, but I don't think he was terrible last year, but there was a couple of years ago there where he was really poor. He had one season that he was really, really poor. I know he has gotten better, but yeah, he's still a bit of a liability over there, I think.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And why they don't sort of move him around a bit more, they've got Justin Turner there, who's now the everyday second baseman and doing well there. But Turner can easily slot over to third base. Yeah.
What do you got at shortstop at the moment?
Oh, Charlie Holstaff.
So what's Story doing? Is he still busted or?
I think so. Yeah.
Okay.
So he hasn't been seen all year, I don't think.
Yeah, very minimal.
Yeah, I think they're just stopgaps until that Marcelo Mayer comes through, but that's going to be next year at the earliest anyway. So
Yeah.
I think they're just biding their time with everyone.
Any kids coming through, Davo, or don't really?
Not
Don't
really.
have, yeah.
No, just
Boston-
Maya.
Boston are probably in that awkward position where they're not shit enough to get good, high enough picks in
Yeah.
drafts, but
Yep.
they're not. But they're not quite good enough to be winning at the moment either. They're sort of stuck. They're stuck in that mid range, aren't they? Really?
They're like the Washington Commanders of the MLB. Just not
Yeah.
quite good enough to make the playoffs, but not bad enough to get high enough picks or anything. So they're just sort of stuck in that middle.
They either have to throw money at people, or
Develop-
trade away what they've got, which doesn't
Develop
help.
Yeah.
some young kids to come through. Yeah, it's tough. Hey, another one I've been following. Now, this is not MLB on Fox. It's MLB on Fax. And they've been sent through quite a few good laughs this week. This one, per source, Freddie Freeman was made aware of Matt Olson's comments on leading the league in home runs and RBIs. He reportedly quipped, "That's cute, but can he hit 300?" Mate, Matt Olson is absolutely raking right now, so he can do whatever he wants. But I've got a little bit more from the MLB on Fax soon, like this one. If Randy Johnson only had one arm, he wouldn't have struck out anyone. I'm actually going to go against this one because I recently watched the John Kruk and All-Star appearance when Randy Johnson
93
threw one in the back net, and that was classic. So I reckon if John Kruk was batting, Randy could come up with that right arm and still strike him out after the fear that he put in him. So
is that when he switched sides and everything?
No, that was Larry Walker. Larry Walker come up. He switched his helmet around and
put it on backwards.
I'm not going from the left side.
Actually, the John Kruk one, he bailed out pretty much every pitch after that, didn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He looked like a little leaguer.
He was stepping in the bucket.
Yeah. He just threw a slider.
Well, fastball next pitch down the middle. Kruk's just stepped out. Then there's a slider and slider, and it's like, throw the helmet away.
Brilliant. If you haven't watched it, do yourself a favor and go and look it up. I think it's 93 or 94.
93 at Camden Yards.
Oh, classic. What about this one? Shohei Ohtani is the first MLB player to be walked intentionally multiple times in back-to-back games since 2014. David, we were talking about this, and he's going to get a little bit of Barry Bonds treatment for sure, I reckon.
Why
I
wouldn't
think was it last week on the show, or maybe the week before? I brought that up and said, "Will this happen?" And we all sort of ummed and ahed, and depends who's hitting around him. I think Dave, you said, and there's not really anyone that can hurt him behind him, is there?
No, not at the moment.
They've made one or two trades, but it's not for a power hitter. And while Trout's still out, look the game on the weekend. Matt Chapman from the Blue Jays, first at bat. They threw him a fastball, bang, out of here. And Chapman's just going off at the manager going, why the hell are we pitching to that guy when there's no one behind him?
Yep.
Yeah, I think it was a bit more brutal than that, though, like when he's the only fucking bloke in the team that can hit or something like that.
Yeah.
But look, I think we also talked about the problem is, though, you put him on and he can steal bases. Like he can run. So, you're just giving up a double.
Yep.
By walking him, possibly a triple.
Yep.
Makes
the
it
way
hard,
his body's
doesn't it?
going at the moment, he's cramping up. He actually got pinch hit for with loaded bases, 2 outs in the ninth or something the other day due to cramping and everything.
Tied game, or they were down 1 run or something? Like it was a close game.
It was a close game.
Was that his doubleheader game?
No. Nope.
That was
the day after.
Okay. Yeah, because that was pretty brutal. Throwing a complete game shutout, one hitter, and then DH in the double header in the next game. That's
And
it's
hitting
pretty
two
rough.
bombs.
He
Well-
did hit 2 bombs, but yeah.
Easiest way to stop running, just hit bombs and jog. There's your
Yeah.
there's your run down. There's your wind down.
Yeah, that's it.
It's not
Hey,
doing flagpoles. It's just doing bases.
Yeah.
That's it. He's just running bases. The Angels did pick up a few, didn't they? I know they got CJ Crone, and was it Greacher?
Garlic, Gruch, yeah, who hit a bomb in his first game for the Angels.
Yeah. Do you know who they lost? I think they lost a couple of pitchers, didn't they? I'm not 100% sure. I think they might have lost. I know they lost Madden, but I don't know who the other was. I'm pretty sure they lost another pitcher, but anyway, that doesn't matter. There's been heaps of trades, and trying to keep up with it all has been insane. It's been awesome though, with lots of action. It's like spring training when you're getting all these different news at spring training and things. So has been pretty good.
They lost Jake Madden and Mason Albright.
I
So
don't
righty
even
and
know.
left. Righty
I
and left.
don't
I don't
even
even know who
know
they
who
are.
Albright is, but anyway.
Yeah,
there you
they got
go.
Randall Grichuk and CJ Crone from the
Yep.
Rockies.
Yes. Well, we'll keep flicking through these, and we'll get to a few more trades shortly. What about our friend here, Renee Gracie? She's in her OnlyFans race car. Smashed my box a bit too hard. Got an upgrade though. I'll be smashing this one tomorrow. So I'm not sure how she ended up in that race, but it's always good to keep up with all these different things on social media. That's for sure. Hey, do you know how she went, Randall?
Well,
No idea. No idea.
no. Probably a
Yeah.
couple of flat back tires, but I don't know.
Probably.
I'm sure
Yeah.
that back end's been smashed up again.
I would say so, mate. I would say so. She's not a very good driver. Not a very good driver. What about this one? Davo mentioned to us the other day that the Orioles might not get on, and I've seen this picture. One of the Facebook groups posted up. What an absolute gem of a photo. They actually played that day too, didn't they?
Yeah, they did. It was a late start in the end, and I think the Orioles walked it off 1-0 against the Yankees.
Yeah.
But in the ninth. So.
In the ninth, yeah. Who was it that hit the bomb? Santander.
Yes,
Yeah.
Anthony Santander.
Yeah.
Yeah, Cole went 7 innings, gave up, I think, 2 or 3 hits, and Rodriguez went six and a bit, and only gave up 1 or 2 hits. So it was good pitches, Jewel.
And blew out the next 2 games. I think the Yankees won the next game 8-3 or something, and then the game 3 was the game where the Orioles put a 7 spot on the Yankees in the first. They scored 6 runs in the bottom of the first before recording an out.
Wow.
So, and that was how bad is that? I don't even know who was throwing for him.
For the Yanks was it Severino?
Yeah, Severino.
Severino.
Yeah.
But it's always cool
Yeah.
seeing photos like that, like when the weather, the adverse weather there, of any kind. It's always cool.
Yeah. Oh, it's just
Yeah.
amazing shot.
West Ghostbusters.
Yeah, that's it. That's the exact thing it gives you the feeling of, doesn't it?
Yeah. We're going to jump into a couple of these trades. These first couple of trades are from our friends at MLB on Facts, not Fox, Facts. So they are a bit of a piss take. I got a good giggle out of this first one. This was brilliant. Blue Jays option Alek Manoah to the Little League. Anyway,
Trade was denied.
He's been up and down a little bit over the last few months, few years even. So anyway, next one. Now, someone sent me this. I can't remember who sent it to me. And this was the first one I seen with that MLB on Facts. And I was like, no way. But yes, it was another fake. The Bay Stars are trading him back to San Diego. It's not happening. This one is happening, though. This is real.
That is real.
This is a real one. So one of you blokes sent me this today.
Yeah,
What's
let the
thoughts on this
fire sale begin.
Yeah.
It's
the
good pick up
Mets
by
or-
the Brewers though, because they're in a tight battle with the Reds in the Central.
yeah,
And the Cubs are only
yeah.
4 games
That's good.
behind them or something too.
I was going to say the Cubbies are there, and there's only one team that's not there, which we won't mention because someone might be listening.
Cardinals.
Cardinals. So yeah, good on for the Brewers to actually being active this time of year.
yeah.
Yeah.
You don't see it very often, do you? From the Brewers, only 1.5 games back. They have to be. I think it's fantastic to see.
Yes.
What else we got?
Interesting to see Verlander go somewhere. You know,
Yeah,
I've heard a few rumors that the Astros are pretty are chasing him pretty hard.
yeah.
So, yeah. I
Mate.
would really hope that the Orioles or someone like that are chasing him too. But
He threw his 250th win there the other night for the Mets.
Yep.
Which was good to see. And yeah, rumor is he's possibly going somewhere, but who knows where. One of the podcasts I listened to with one of the San Francisco guys today, he was saying Houston as well. So who knows? Who knows where he could go? I'm just
They could
having a
use
look
a
at
starter. Houston.
yeah, yeah. Just having
so
a
could
look
Baltimore. So could Baltimore.
having a look at their
Just don't go to Texas.
Just take out of Texas.
They've got
Fuck.
enough.
the New York Mets is a pretty changed team, isn't it? They've got rid of a few in the trade and a few more possibly tomorrow. Who knows what's going to go on tomorrow? What about this one? Lance Lynn and
Yes.
Joe Kelly off to LA. I'm not a fan of that, but LA, what are they? They're a couple of games back, aren't they? I think
They're
they're in
thereabouts,
third at the
mate.
moment. Yeah, I think 2.5 or 3 games back. Let me have a look. I have to pull it up.
Yeah, I was talking about this one on the weekend actually with the
We're
boys.
2.5 games back of them. Sorry.
Yeah, and I couldn't remember who the starter was. I was thinking it was Dylan Cease, but I think he's the only one they were keeping, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they've let everyone else. Gilo's gone, Lance Lynn now, yeah, and Kelly. Like, man,
It's brutal.
Be interesting to see if Hendricks is a bit of trade bait.
Yeah.
yeah,
Being on the IL, I'm not sure what will happen there.
Mm.
He's not back off yet, is he? I'm pretty sure
No.
he was still on there.
No.
Yeah.
yeah, he's off. He's off on the list, off on
Yeah.
the IL.
Yeah, fair enough. And Joe Kelly's trade was exactly 3 years after the face. So
Perfect.
yeah, that was good value. That got his
Yep.
own little mural up there on the. Where was it? It was
Yeah,
one
it's
of
on
the-
a wall.
yeah, on
Somewhere
the
there.
wall somewhere. Arizona. This is good for them. Paul Sewell. He's done nothing this year for Seattle, so
Yeah, it's a little surprising that though, isn't it?
it
I
is.
was surprised when I read that because Mariners, yeah, they're not going as well as expected, but to be sellers,
They're only 5 games back though, so it's pretty rough.
that's a bit of a
Yeah.
hot streak.
But anyway, see what happens with the rest of it. I don't think.
Especially in that division though, like, you know, anything could happen there.
Yeah, for sure. Now, you fellas watch a bit of the soccer last night. How good was this? The 4-0 victory over Canada.
Yeah, great to see over the Olympic champions, and did it pretty easy too. It was nice that they could give Sam Kerr more time off, but it was just an all-round, a lot better performance. Like they looked lost in places the previous game, but they were everywhere last night, which was great to see.
Yeah, killed it. I'm a big fan of their jerseys too.
Mm.
I don't know. I like the color of it. And Dave, what were you saying earlier about the goalkeeper?
Yeah, the Canadian goalkeeper looked more Australian than what the Aussie one did. Canadian goalkeeper was in full gold, and ours was the purple wiggle. Or pink.
Yeah. The purple wiggle. puts us in a good spot through to the next round, and we'll see what that brings.
Yeah,
it
it's
could be
awesome
either
going to that round of 16. So
England or Denmark, maybe, depending on who comes or where Group D, how they finish up.
Yep.
yeah, I thought I heard Denmark, but yeah, I don't know. It hasn't been decided yet. Anyway, has it?
No, I think it's maybe tonight or tomorrow night. I think they've got their final one, so we'll know the makeup in the next few days.
Yeah. Okay. I didn't. I wasn't sure where they were going to next, so be interesting to see. I'm sure all of Australia will be behind them.
Yep.
I don't know what else. What's next on the slides? Oh, Shohei Ohtani and Pete Alonso were the players of the week last week. I watched a bit of Alonso. He had a back-to-back home run game and, had a great week. But Shohei Ohtani had that complete game shutout, one hitter, hit 2 home runs in that game. And, the next game as a doubleheader and just a freak.
And then the game after that, I think he led off with a home run.
Yep.
He's just a beast. So he's up to 39 home runs.
Fell a bit short today, though. Harris.
Yeah, just caught at the wall. Seen that one?
I don't think it would have gone over, but
Nah.
Harris, back to the gym.
Yeah, they were saying they robbed him, but I don't think it was going over either. But
no, I think it was just short.
Let's have a look here. How did your teams go on the weekend, fellas? The weekend series winners.
Just another series win, mate.
I just can't see the Red Sox there. Where are they?
Yes, I got it, mate.
Oh, they're not highlighted. That's right. Oh,
we took you to extra innings in 2 of them. I love the walk off one pitch off Jansen to win one game, and then extra digs the following day. So
he was solid the first day. Jansen was solid. What did he pitch? All 3 actually? Did he? I know the first day, the game is won. He was rock solid, and then come on, big rocket launcher. Some of the teams that have done it right out of the trade, fellas. What about Texas Rangers?
Texas.
I know we had Tex on last week, and he was talking up about, possible getting a few more pitches and whatever.
Well, Evaldi, I think he went to the IL today or yesterday to the 15-day IL or something. So he's hurt. So there's 1 down.
Yep. Good range of pitches there. Good luck to him. I don't think we'll see him at the end. Just my thought. Talking about power rankings earlier, and you're saying that the Yankees are always up there. They usually are. It's good to see them not in this one. Any surprises in that lot, fellas?
Maybe Cubs, but they've been what are they on an 8-game win streak?
Yeah.
So not really.
Tampa Bay,
maybe Blue Jays.
Yeah,
actually, Blue Jays being that high.
Yeah,
probably the Blue Jays. Like, how can they be above Tampa?
Well, that's right. They're in what is it? They're 6.5 games back from.
If it's on recent form, like Tampa had a shocking July.
Yeah.
So.
But they're still only 2 games back from the Orioles.
Yeah.
With this, Orioles got the second best win record behind Atlanta, and Tampa only 2 games back with the third best.
Yeah. So still doing enough to stay up there.
They're still beating teams.
Cincinnati Reds are plugging along all right there. They're 1.5 games in front of Milwaukee, which is we talked about that last week. So they're plugging along all right. Be good to see.
At least he didn't put his brother's team in there. Then we'd know it's a joke.
That's right.
Well, maybe he has.
Yeah.
And we just don't know yet.
The future team, yeah.
Hey, speaking of brothers, my brother he can't make it tonight. Apparently, he's sleeping or something. He's got to go to work or whatever.
He doesn't work.
Excuse.
Turn up to a workplace.
He tipped you blokes a winner last week. What was it?
Tintin.
Oh, Tintin Magic. Yeah, it won last week. He said this Friday night at Parks Trots, it'll win again before going to the Big Smoke on August 12th. So there you have it. The tipster couldn't be in this week, but he's sent in his tips anyway. So
Gamble
Gamble
responsibly.
Absolutely.
Find other people's money to do it with.
That's right. Hey,
Just not your wife's.
If anyone wants to do a super chat on the side, we'll put that straight into Tintin Magic. The Ashes, fellas, it's been and done. We retained them. Give us a rundown of that last test. That was, who cares anyway? Actually, we won the Ashes. Nah, Dave, give us a rundown of the Ashes, mate. It was quality series.
I think we choked a bit in the end. We were chasing a record run chase of 380, but we started well. We were 3 for 260 and then bowled out for 334. So a bit disappointing there, but I think the umpires have a bit to answer for. Like we all saw that ball change that happened towards the end of day 4. How they could change a ball after 30 overs is beyond me. And yeah, and when you looked at the ball that it replaced it with, the original ball doing nothing, second ball just started moving everywhere. So bit disappointing from that, but a good series, very even. There was no real standouts from either team. You can say, oh, Bazball was this, Bazball was that, but just good all-round hard-fought cricket. Broad's done and dusted, so it's nice to see him go out with his superstition of changing up the bails and then getting a wicket next ball. So I think there can be lessons learned from it, and hopefully we make some changes before our home series. And even though I've bagged him out before, I think Warner, yes, he batted well that last innings, but I just hope that Australia learns from this and we start fresh before the Australian summer. We've really got to think about moving forward, and this series, this home series, is probably the best way to do it. Like, I know Warner wants his farewell tour, but they've got to think big picture and moving forward. But and also Cummings as captain, not sure whether the fast bowler captain scenario works that well, but that's my 2 cents worth, and it really isn't worth much. So. But a great series, and can now get some sleep again.
Yeah, that's the biggest one, isn't it? Sleep. Jesus. I keep finding myself waking up, laying there, lunch break, sweet or good, waking up all of a sudden and they're in the tea break. And I'm like, what second session?
Yeah. Yeah, it's been a bit that way. It's like, hang on, that's not where I left it. Oh, it's a rain delay. They're showing highlights of a previous test. But 2 even teams. So I think it was a good all round series.
Yeah,
I did always find myself coming in on my breaks at work, and it was tea or lunch, or it's always brutal. But had it on the ABC radio a bit and listen along.
What do you reckon, Randall? Should with Warner give him the home test series or make a change?
Change has got to happen. We know change is going to happen.
Yep.
Whether it be before or after this series, he's going to finish up. But it would be great to see him go out at home. But like you say, we've got to start planning for the future. Like, who have we got? Pakistan and West Indies or something, don't we?
Yeah, I think those two.
Or Sri Lanka and West Indies, or
no, it's definitely Pakistan. I know that, but not sure the other one. But probably they're lesser teams, so it's probably a good chance to bring in Harris or Renshaw or make that change, and then work out what they're going to do. Keep Marsh or Green, because Marsh had that good good score, but then did bugger all after it. And
Yep.
poor old Green didn't take any opportunities. So there's a
No.
few questions there.
Yeah.
No, that's right. And we all know that Warner's going to come out in Australia on our wickets and score 1 million runs. Like we know that's what he's going to do. He's on Aussie pitches. He's a bully. So
he only had one decent score last summer. He had that 200 in Melbourne, but nothing else for the whole summer.
True, Kawaja was the one that scored a lot of runs, wasn't he? So yeah, I don't know. Do they play him and if he gets his big 100 or whatever and finish him up after that, or why would you start someone? Maybe he'll play against one Pakistan and not against the other. Don't know.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see.
Who
I hope he
knows?
does get his.
Surely they're going to let him play the SCG in that last test.
But so that would mean he'd have to play all of them. You're not really going to hold him out just for that one final test.
No,
the
that's
War
right.
Brothers never got their send off from the SCG, so why do it now?
I don't know. Who knows? Like, who knows what goes through their heads? Realistically, they might as well finish. If he's retiring, get rid of him now and get someone that's in form in Australia and let him get in there and get some runs and feel comfortable.
Yeah,
feel like
that's right.
Feel like that spot's theirs, not come into the team after an Australian summer and go to Sri Lanka or India or something, and battle and have everyone question them.
That's right. It's not fair on them.
Yeah, I don't know. I reckon he's probably going to get a run and finish off his Sydney campaign. But it'd be good for his sake, but not for Australian cricket's sake. So
I think the coaches have a bit to answer for as well. Their tactics from this series. We all know Langer was a hard ass, and all the players complained about that. But I think McDonald's a bit the other way. You've got to find that good balance of being able to rip into the guys at times to get the most out of them. But I don't think he's game enough to do it. So I don't know if he's the right guy for it. We all know Ponting's the right man. His cricket brain is just unbelievable. But I think he's making too much money from commentating and coaching in the IPL.
Yeah, the money's there. The old dangle and the carrot over there, and we even seen it with the Aussie women going over there this year, which is good to see. But anyway, we'll see what happens. NRL, fellas.
Bulldogs
Big
won.
weekend. Knights won.
2 out of 3. How'd that other team
go? Big weekend. Broncos 32 over the Roosters 10. Rabbitohs 32 over the Tigers 18. Storm 46 over Parramatta 16. Mighty Knights 28 over the Raiders 6. Raiders had nothing. It was 20-0 to the Knights at half time. So they pretty much. I picked that one actually, surprisingly.
Where are the Knights coming now, Randall?
They're coming 9th, mate. 1 point behind about 4 teams. So they're on an odd number because they had that draw earlier in the season. I think they've got the Dolphins this week in Perth, followed by maybe the Dirty Dogs, Davo, here in Newey.
2 points for us.
Silvertails 24 over the Dragons 18. Penrith Panthers they just keep firing, don't they? 28-0 over Cronulla. I don't know what they're doing. They're gone. They're shot ducks.
They're a mess like the Roosters.
Yeah, they sure are. The Dirty Dogs, Davo, 23, held off a late charge from the Dolphins, 22.
Yep. Dolphins had the chance to win it, but kicking into the breeze just didn't make it.
That's it. So, that was one I didn't get. And, Titans, 22 over the Cowboys, 13. I didn't get that one either.
No, I had Cowboys in that last one.
Yeah, so I only missed 2 on the weekend. But the ladder, Penny Panthers and Brisbane Broncos are on equal points, sitting at the top of the ladder. Panthers on top with their better for and against. Warriors, third place. They're still holding in there at the
Yeah.
top end of that ladder. They're playing good footy. They're
Oh, Warriors.
they're equal.
Haven't heard much about them all year, but they're still up there.
They're just sitting away winning. I know I've been talking a bit with Bossy over the last few weeks at baseball, and he keeps saying he's just waiting for that typical Warriors to just dive bomb. But every
Finals.
time he thinks it's about to happen, they seem to win. So he's still riding them high.
Hopefully
Yeah.
they can continue it on. Have they ever won it?
Don't
No,
think
I
so.
don't think so.
Yeah, I can't remember if they have or not.
No, I'm going to say no.
Yep.
They're
later.
They're equal on 30 points with the Storm, which is the whole top four. Then you've got Raiders 28 points, Rabbitohs, Sharks, Cowboys all on 26 to round out the 8. And then you've got Manly and Newcastle in 9th and 10th. Newcastle and Manly on 25 points. So they're just behind that number. But Rabbitohs, Sharks, Cowboys, they're in danger there of dropping out. So
what about the Tigers, mate? Are they going to make a late charge or?
There's not enough games, mate, to actually get them into the 8.
You beauty.
And Bulldogs are now third last. We're climbing
Yeah,
up the
they
ladder.
are, yeah.
We've
Jumped up
overtaken the Dragons.
That's it. Couple more wins for those West Tigers, mate, and you might jump the Dragons.
I don't think so. Don't think it's going to happen. I haven't watched too many full games of theirs this year, that's for sure.
No.
For sure. All right. Anything else happening in sport that you want to talk about, fellas? We'll get out of here.
No, we've been rambling on for long enough.
This weekend, the Toronto Tigers trivia night. If you haven't got a team together, grab yourself a team and get over there.
Don't even need a team. Just rock up.
Good fun. Yeah, rock up and
we'll put you on a team.
Yeah, sort it out.
Family friendly too. There will be kids. So
okay. Team
no issues.
Team Davo Rum Guzzlers. Mate, we're set. We're ready to roll. So as long as there's 80s and 90s questions, we should be good, Davo.
Pretty much.
I don't like the look of that. Anyway, all right, fellas. Been a big week in sport, and we'll catch up again next week. Thanks to Matty Clark from A State of Ride coming on earlier and having a chat.
Can't wait to ride with him.
That was well over an hour ago, so I can't believe you still remember that, Randall. It was an hour ago. All right, fellas, take it easy, and we'll see you next week.
Catches.
Gotcha.